Hey guys.
Yeah, you are live. I made it.
Yay.
And I didn't even play the intro video.
It's okay. You could play it now if you want, just
Oh,
for
yeah. Well,
giggles.
let's just do it for the fun of it, because this is really, hi, everybody. Thank you for those people that have joined us here. This is really me trying to figure out how to do the steps necessary to get a live feed going so that tomorrow night when we do Three Amigos, I can be the third amigo with a live stream and not be a complete
Don't say any
fool.
bad words in the first minute of the
I didn't
video,
say
Mike.
that. I did. I restrained myself. So I had this little video that was going to be an intro clip, but I fumbled it. So I'm going to play it now just so you can see it. Here you go.
Waiting for a man who says he's going to blow the lid off the secrets of the religion of the stars, to tell the story of the dark side of the Church of Scientology.
There you go.
There you go.
I like it. I like it. We got John Sweeney. John Sweeney's going to email us from Ukraine. He's going to ask for a cut.
Exactly. Oh, yeah, exactly. Anyway, I very much appreciate the fact that with absolutely no notice and sort of at the very last minute, there's a whole bunch of people who've shown up from all over the world. I mean, we've got greetings from France, Denmark, UK. Where's Larice Stuckenbrock? Got a little ahead of myself there. Yeah, like I said, this is really experimental practice run to see what I am supposed to be doing and which buttons to click, so I don't make a mess of it when there's something important happening. I did actually want to talk about one thing. I didn't know how many questions there were going to be or if anybody was going to show up, so I sort of went, oh, well, what do we talk about if nobody's here? Obviously, there are people here, but I put up a post on my blog yesterday about clearing the planet. And this is something that is sort of an interesting topic because it is indicative of the level of delusion that exists within Scientology. You know, Scientologists believe that they are fighting this fight to clear the planet, which means to get, a majority of the people on planet Earth to the state of clear, the postulated or laid out idea that L. Ron Hubbard had of what a clear is, that is contained in Dianetics. Nobody has ever achieved that state to this day, although Scientology claims that they are making clears routinely, and every staff member and every Scientologist talks about how they're clearing the planet and they are accomplishing this planetary clearing and that this is going to save all of mankind. The reality of it is that they're not even close to clearing a block of any area anywhere.
Not even in Clearwater, not in Los Angeles, where they have more people than anywhere.
Right. And I just wanted to sort of put this into perspective because someone sent me a picture of someone who had gotten, and when Scientologists attained the state of clear, they're given a bracelet and it has their clear number on the back, just like the SP bracelet. Yep.
Ours don't have numbers.
SP shop, but there's no numbers on those.
Because there's so many SPs that we can't keep track of them.
Exactly. But that is where the idea for the SP bracelet actually came from, was the clear bracelet. In any event, there was someone that appeared on social media showing off their new clear bracelet, and it was like number 76,900 and something or other. And every now and then these show up, and I sort of keep track of them, and I see, oh, well, last year there was 75,900. Now there's 76,000. So they've gotten like 300 in an entire year. And actually a better thing to do is to go, okay, 76,000 clears have been made since 1950.
In 70 years, they've made 70,000.
70 years, they've made 70,000. The population of planet Earth in 1950 was 2.5 billion. The population of planet Earth today is 8 billion. That is 5.5 billion backwards. They have gone backwards by 5.5 billion.
But not only that, Mike, 50,000 of those clears have died.
Exactly.
So they went backwards again.
Not only died, they've been declared.
Yeah,
I mean,
or declared, or
even the first real clear, which, you know, there was clears in the 50s, but then Hubbard claimed that the real clears were first made in 1966 by doing what he called the clearing course, which was a confidential, super secret OT preparation level clearing course. And the first clear was declared an SP, John McMaster.
yeah.
And many of the subsequent clears were also.
Well, almost all those people from St. Hill went clear, and that worked with L. Ron Hubbard, and almost every single one of them have been declared.
Right. Okay, so there's some people sending in questions. So I am going to click on these questions. Matthew Hines. Oh, look, this is the first super chat on the Mike.
Wow, look at that, Matthew Hines.
Matthew
Oh, you
Hines.
already got a super chat.
That's
Nice.
amazing. That's amazing. Where is Larice Stuckenbrock? Everyone asks about Shelley, but what about Larice? She's in the same place that David Miscavige is. Wherever David Miscavige is, Larice Stuckenbrock is right alongside him, or right behind him, or right in front of him.
And usually when we were still there, Larice and Shelley and Dave would always be together.
Right.
And so if Dave showed up at your work area or he showed up at an event, Larice and Shelley would be with him. And now Shelley's just not with him, but Larice is still there. And Larice has, to my knowledge, has never been away from him. She's always been the not the assistant. She is his communicator, like his secretary.
Right. That's exactly right. Okay. I can't believe I made it. I do have a question, only a few minutes late. What happened to the Tustin Org in Orange County? Well, the Tustin Org became the Orange County Org. And the Orange County Org moved from its successful location in Tustin into downtown Anaheim, into this horrible, ugly building that is an ideal org, and has founded or floundered around since then, like all the rest of these ideal orgs, with nobody in it and probably not having enough money to pay their electrical bills, and just sort of existing.
Did you ever go to the Orange County Org when it was in Tustin? When they were in
Yes.
that little office park with all those
Yeah.
little buildings?
All those little buildings, yes.
yeah,
I
and
went
it was tons of people there.
Absolutely.
Tons. In the
Back in the
90s.
case of John Woodruff, I
Yeah.
was there, and that was a really happening place. There were a few Scientology organizations back in the 70s that were what, you would think all organizations are today, given the PR that they spread around. But when I was sent on a mission to Asho Foundation in 1975,
Yeah.
Asho Foundation was on Temple Street then. They had this fairly big building. People arrived 45 minutes early in the morning in order to get a seat in the briefing course. There were 200 students on the briefing course, and the roll call took
10, 15
13 or
minutes.
15 minutes.
Yeah,
just
I
to
re-
do
that
the
was-
roll call.
That was the same way it was at AO in the 80s. I was on course at the Advanced Organization of Los Angeles.
Yeah.
If you didn't show up 15, 20 minutes for course at 7 o'clock at night, you wouldn't get a seat. You'd have to sit out in the hallway or just have a chair with no table or, something like that. There was so many people, they couldn't even fit them in there.
Right.
They were literally busting at the seams in the 1980s. And you couldn't not only could you not, not only could you not get a seat in the course room, but if you were driving a car there, you couldn't get a parking space on the street. And sometimes you just have to illegally park just to be able to get a course on time and then take a bathroom break and go move your car.
Exactly. Well, I mean, and it was the same. There were other like Class 5 organizations that were also big orgs. DC, Miami, Munich. Those orgs would have, 100 people on their basic introductory courses at any given time.
Yeah.
Like every day. There were missions. The Riverside mission, before it got shut down by the finance police, that had 100 people on course at any given time.
Wow.
Nowadays, you go to any Scientology organization, it's a big fat nothing.
When we were doing the ideal orgs at the base, and we would have to go and set up the systems, and then sometimes we'd have to go back and fix a projector or something like that. And I think I want to say that it was Stevens Creek or Los Gatos or one of those places that we went to. I don't remember right now, but we went there about 6 months after they opened, and I went into one of the course rooms, and the clay was still in the packages from when they had the ideal org opening. So in Scientology, they have this thing called a clay demo. And when you're studying a course, you have to make these little people out of clay to demonstrate the concept that L. Ron Hubbard's communicating. And the clay had been, no one had ever done a clay demo in 6 months. And that was one of the kind of alarms that went off in my head. Like, wait, this is an ideal org and they haven't had a student in 6 months? Like, how is this even possible?
Yeah, well, see, that's the same thing that I was talking about earlier with this delusion within the bubble of Scientology, that people in Scientology think that they're clearing the planet. And yet, if they just went to their local organization, they would see that there is absolutely nothing going on. The Scientology world has become a world which is created in the minds of the people who are involved in Scientology still, based on what they are told by their fearless leader, David Miscavige. And it bears no resemblance to reality. And it's kind of weird to watch this happening.
Yeah, it is weird. And it's also the amount of, that was Claire. I told her to take. Me. Oh, okay. I told her she could take down the questions. Claire Headley is here in the chats, folks, if she hasn't announced herself. I told her if you leave the question up, just take it down.
Oh, I see. I get it. I'm just sort of messing around. I'm so stupid. I didn't realize there were a whole bunch more starred ones underneath because I only saw the first 9.
Yes. Oh, no. But Tammy says she has both of our books. Thank you, Tammy.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
I appreciate that.
Thank you. Just started reading your book, loving it. Excellent. I hope you enjoy it. Oh, look at this. The second super chat. Your first live on your own channel. Awesome.
Yes.
Thank you.
I'm trying to convince Mike this is not as hard as it looks. It's pretty easy. And I think this is working. This is showing him that it is possible to do this.
CPB5, Super Sticker, Janet Cheney, $10. Hasn't anyone ever put together what LRH wrote sci-fi and Xenu and Volcanoes and Thetans? Well, I think people put that together pretty routinely by saying that Scientology is a sci-fi religion created by a sci-fi author. I'm not sure that whether you mean his specific sci-fi stories, are any of them identical to the Xenu, Volcanoes, and Thetans stories? Don't think so, but
Well, Battlefield Earth is a very close representation and kind of a nod to psychiatrists are enslaving the population because the aliens. Yeah.
Oh no, psychiatrists. The bankers are in Mission Earth.
Yeah, the bankers and the taxmen are in Mission Earth, but in Battlefield Earth, the aliens in that movie are called Cyclos, and that's a nod to them being psychiatrists or psychologists.
Right.
And that's why they're called Cyclos.
Wonderful.
But in Scientology, I don't know, she doesn't say who, but in Scientology, the backstory is that L. Ron Hubbard's science fiction and writing career is what funded his research into Scientology. And if you call research taking drugs and being part of a sex cult, then yeah, sure, that's what funded his research. But yeah, that's how they kind of justify. That's part of the backstory and the history of Scientology is that L. Ron Hubbard was such a prolific writer. That's how he got the money to develop Scientology and Dianetics.
Right. Okay. Here's another one. Loved your audio book. I just got my signed book. I had a fangirl moment. Thank you. Oh, thank you, Kristen. I have been sending out personalized signed copies of my book of late. We moved it over to my blog where you can sign up for a personalized one, and I will write whatever message you want in your book, as long as it's not pornographic.
Not Ben-Hur the inscription.
Okay. Thanks, Mike and Mark, for all you do. Manchester, UK.
Yay.
Thank you, Richard.
Go
That's
Manchester City or Man U, either one. Go for you. Good. Now Richard's going to get that money back now that I mentioned Man U or Man City, whichever
either
one.
I went to UT and lived near the Austin Scientology building. It was always creepy, and on Google Earth, its roof is icky. It's such a drag on the drag. What the hell? Well, you know, that's one of the places that they're converting into an ideal org. They are adding to that building to make it an ideal org because the location is so perfect because it's literally right across the street from UT, as you know, and Scientology believes that they're going to be able to persuade all 60 or 100,000 or however many students there are at UT to come on in and take a personality test, and the likelihood of that is
they are so in for a rude awakening. All those kids are on the web.
Well, they can't get any in there now, so it's like they haven't never been able to. They think that a new building is going to make a difference, or renovating that building is going to make a difference. Won't make any difference at all. Okay. Who actually drives the Freewinds? Where do they learn to sail a large vessel? I'm a landlord guy, so I don't know these things.
That's awesome.
The driver of the Freewinds is Captain Mike Napier. And actually, I don't know what his history is, but he had some history prior to the Sea Org of being a sea captain of some description.
He was certified when he joined the Sea Org.
Right. There was a massive search done when the Freewinds was originally purchased to find any Scientologist with maritime history, either as a captain, as a first mate, as a chief engineer, as ship's engineers, anything, and they were all rounded up, and that's how Mike Napier became the captain of the Freewinds, driving the Freewinds. Okay, Lady BBQ. How old / many first generation are there? My point is that how long before first generation are gone? Yay, you're at 14K subscribers. Oh, that's cool. How old many? I honestly don't know, but first generation Scientologists are certainly dying out.
Yeah.
I mean, if you mean there are first generation Scientologists, like someone who comes into Scientology yesterday and now calls himself a Scientologist is technically a first generation Scientologist. But talking about those who got involved in the 50s and 60s, which is what I consider like the first generation of Scientologists. I would say that there are not too many. Like, I'm old and I am sort of reaching the end, like the edge of what anybody could consider to be a first generation person who came into Scientology in the late 50s or early 60s. So there's not going to be that. There's many of them have died off. Believe me, many of them have died off.
And having multi-generational Scientologists is becoming less and less common as well. So I think I saw somebody sent me a picture of a Scientology like great grandmother who sent a picture of her like little kids completing a Scientology course, the great grandkids. And it was her and the parents and the grandparents and the great grandparents all in one picture. And I thought, oh yeah, that's a unicorn picture right there. You're not going to get many of those.
Yeah, there ain't too many. Okay. Studio. Is there a difference between newer diabetics and regular Dianetics? What does the new era part mean? Congrats from Melbourne on your first live. Go
nice.
Collingwood.
Studio. Is that Susu Studio? Is that what that's in a reference to?
Okay, the difference between new era Dianetics and old era Dianetics is really nothing. It was a marketing gimmick. Hubbard did this book that was called New Era Dianetics, or what was that book called, Mark? It's not even published anymore. That was supposedly an update on Dianetics. Really, what New Era Dianetics is, it is revisions of the Dianetics commands that are done in the auditing session, and then subsequent to that, Hubbard developed this, what he called New Era Dianetics for OTs or NOTs, and that
it was original. Is it Dianetics the original thesis? Is that where?
No. It was called New Era Dianetics or something else. Dianetics Today. That's what it was.
There you go.
Yeah, but it's not published anymore. But New Era Dianetics for OTs is just another sales pitch. It really has nothing to do with Dianetics as you find in the Dianetics, the modern science of mental health. It is simply the fact that it is processes that were developed by Hubbard to handle physical and bodily issues. And that's what Dianetics was addressing. Emotions, pains, etc., etc. That's what New Era Dianetics for OTs addresses, but it doesn't resemble Dianetics as you find in the Dianetics book. Okay. Hi, Mike. You're gorgeous.
Ooh. I'm gonna have to up my game if I go on the Mike's channel. It's a super chat. She will always check the super chats, and she will also usually check the questions that she wants you to answer or see.
I know. Okay. Do you know or hear anything about Anonymous anymore? It seems like Anonymous has sort of moved on to other things. I didn't know that they were ever really well organized in any event, but it seems like they just sort of scattered to the winds a bit.
Well, on the subject of Scientology,
yes,
they're doing their thing on other people.
Yeah, exactly. Elsie, thank you. Diane Jean Vallecillo, just wanted to say super congrats with a super chat. Thank you so much. Elsie, $5. What exactly will it take to bring down Scientology? Okay, this is a question that gets asked almost every time I talk about the subject. My answer is always the removal of their tax-exempt status, but not because of the money, because of the inability to then hide behind, in the United States at least, the First Amendment and the requirements to provide financial information and transparency so that it could be seen how much money are they making and how much money are they spending and what are they spending it on, and the removal of the stigma for agencies who are scared of going after religious organizations. Okay, guys, give us a Jenny Linson story. Oh, folks, I have to make this really pretty short today. So why don't you come back with that one tomorrow at the Three Amigos, and
can I just tell one real quick one? It'll take 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Jenny Linson was in the CMO and CW, and I was doing some work there for David Miscavige on his unit that he lived in, where he had a big audiovisual system, and I saw Jenny DeVocht running out the door really quick. She was late and she was running to get in the car with Tom DeVocht to drive to the base for the morning muster, and her shirt wasn't buttoned and her bra was just hanging out, and she was literally getting dressed as she was running to the car. And I was like, oh boy, they're doing they do the same thing here in Clearwater they do at the base. They get to muster. Those Sea Org members are going to milk every second of sleep to get to the bus or get to their car, whatever they're driving in, at the very last possible second.
Yep. I mean, my best Jenny Linson story is the audio recording of her at the parking lot.
Oh yes, when they accosted you at the doctor's office.
Exactly. I am going to do a whole YouTube video about that incident, and I'm going to go recreate it and create a little video.
Oh, go to the place.
How that all went down. What?
Nice. Like, go to the doctor's office.
Yes, because they said, oh, we just happened to see him as we were driving by. And I'm going to do a video that shows like where I was and how you couldn't see me from anywhere if you had a telescope and a laser guided location system.
Also, what are the chances that your entire family and a bunch of Sea Org members are going to be driving around in the middle of the day and accidentally run into you when they work in California?
or flew in from Australia.
Yeah. Oh, your brother was there, right? Yeah. We just happened to run into you.
Just bumped into him. Okay. Claire Alice. Question, Mike, do you have an email newsletter that mails out your new blog posts? I think so. I think
go to his blog and sign up
on the blog, you get emails. That's what I think. Oh, dirty little cracker licker the second. Hey,
wow,
this is your bro.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever seen the Angry Thetan on YouTube?
Yes.
The flyover with the drone. Absolutely. That stuff is absolutely amazing. And the fact that that person knew every one of those properties and took the time to get out there with a drone is like, some of those places are out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah. You know, I caught a bunch of flack for those because I was getting into drones and I had a bunch of drones and stuff. So everybody thought that I was the one doing them, because who else would have drones and know where all the locations were? And I was a newbie drone guy. I was like, trust me, those are amazing videos. I did not do them.
You were such a newbie drone guy that you crashed that one over the side when it was windy, remember?
Well, also
on your cul-de-sac.
Well, yeah, no, the drone actually went rogue, and the drone company sent me a new one. But it was when Leah was here and we were shooting the Aftermath TV at my show at my house, and the drone flew over into the other road, and then a car drove over it. So by the time we got over there to look, it was just a pile of electronics on the ground.
Right. Oh my God, I look so red in this video. Do I look red at your end?
I always look red, so I have a red backdrop. I have color temperature orange lights.
Okay. Liz, UK Liz. Hi, Mike. I loved your early episode of Fair Game with Steve Cannan. Would be amazing if you could get Rex Beaver, private investigator, on the show. Better Call Beaver. Never heard of Rex Beaver, private investigator.
Is that a real thing?
I have no idea.
It's like Better Call Saul.
Exactly. Better call Beaver.
Better Call Beaver.
Okay. Up Mayo. Has anyone got information on current state of the ideal org in Dublin? I'm hoping that my country of birth has left it empty. Oh, yes, it is very empty. And by the way, you know that really isn't in Dublin. It's out in fields, it's like very remote. That is one of the more ridiculous ideal orgs ever, because Scientology didn't even have an organization in Dublin. There was a mission there, and from scratch they built an quote org, and nobody knows why. Maybe Tom Cruise was planning on being there or something.
Claire's mom was involved in that because she's from Ireland, or her family are from Ireland, and I think they were from Cork actually, but they were involved in trying to like schmooze up with community people there to kind of get some inroads and safe point the place, and I think it was an utter failure.
Oh, it is.
When do you want to finish this video?
I was just about to say, I'm looking, I've got to go because, like I said, this was just an experiment. It's turned out to be great.
So we should tell people no more super chats.
3, so no more. We'll try and finish these.
We have 55 questions to get through right now.
Holy moly.
So we should rapid fire through them.
How do you see 55?
It says starred 55. Yeah. You haven't been unstarring any of the ones you do, so you got to start unstarring them after you read them.
Oh, so we don't. So it's not really 55 because we've been through some.
Yeah.
Whatever. Okay. Let's go.
Maybe Claire can unstar the ones we've read, so Mike can just read for now.
Okay. This one's easy. Robot 303.
Nice.
$7 Australian. I love these Australian ones. Elizabeth Skaggs, why do you think more people are talking about their experiences in Scientology now than in the past? I think because it's become safe to do so. I think that with the advent of the internet, like anybody can basically get on now, has an outlet to be able to tell their story. I think that going clear made a big change in what people saw, and then the aftermath following that, where it was week after week after week of people telling their stories. And, despite the threats from Scientology and the stupid legal letters they sent, which we read many of them out on the show, nothing really bad happened to those people. And so it has become more just like safer, I guess, in the minds of people to speak out. So more people are speaking out, and there's more channels and availability for them to do so.
The fear of retribution has diminished.
Okay, Erica Bickers. Hey, Mike, I enjoyed listening to you, and it's so awesome Mark is with you today. Great content always. Thank you.
Thank you
so much. Okay, Yonga Matador. Hi, Mike. You previously described your fall from grace being linked to the 0405 New Year's event, subsequently sent to the hole by Miscavige. What originally sparked this off? Gosh, I'm not sure. I don't know. This question gets asked a lot, and anybody who has been around David Miscavige understands that it's not necessarily anything. It could be too slow to answer a question, too fast to answer a question, wrong facial expression, looking the wrong way when he walked into a room, not standing up, presenting something that he found unacceptable. It's just random, and I don't know that I have an answer to your question, really.
It also could have been he just had a bad meeting with somebody else, and you're just catching shrapnel from that meeting.
Next guy up. Exactly.
That was a very common thing. Like, somebody's all excited, they're going to get to meet with Dave Miscavige, and then they just get obliterated, go to the RPF, whatever, and they're like, I don't know what happened. It's like, oh no, he had a bad meeting before you. It wasn't you. Yeah, have fun on the RPF.
Right. Panko, great work. Thanks for your book. Great reading. Thank you, Panko. Jackie. Thank you, Jackie. Grant. What's the real Isaac Hayes story from Scotland? Okay, this is probably would take a while, but Isaac Hayes was basically, I assume you mean what happened in the end with Isaac Hayes, as opposed to how he got into Scientology. I don't really know how he got in. He clearly, the big news about Isaac Hayes was that he basically fell on his sword, sacrificed himself of the South Park episode, because he was a recurring character in South Park, and it was an absolute catastrophe for him to quit that show. It was really his only source of income, and he ended up in all sorts of financial problems after that.
Grant also has an amazing little thumbnail. He's got a David Miscavige.
Oh yeah, that's
rainbow.
That's the guy from last week's shoot.
Mm-hmm. So good.
Yeah. Okay, Mike, are you aware that millions of people sympathize with what you went through? The pain is tangible. These criminals are animals that show that unfortunately bullies sometimes win. Stay the course. Thank you, Yitzi. I do realize that. I also would disagree with you that they are winning. They're not winning. They literally are not winning.
Yeah.
This is a war that they are engaged in now, that they are absolutely failing at and not succeeding at all. Believe me, there is some discomfort or upset or whatever that may be happen to us every now and then. The discomfort and upset that is going on in the world of David Miscavige is absolutely DEFCON 7 or whatever the right expression for that is.
The fan, the proverbial poo has hit the fan in Scientology HQ.
Now I've totally lost where I am at on these questions. Okay, looks like this is the next one.
No, that's the first one. You unstar it, and then it won't come back.
Okay. I just have to see who drives the free wins. Oh, I really screwed up here. See?
You could go to the bottom.
Thank you all, insightful work. Why do you think Shelley? Angry Thetan. Okay. All right. Bell Lada. Love the Aaron, Mark, Claire, and yourself work so well together and support each other. Yeah, we're honestly really, really good friends. We spend a lot of time, as much time together as we can, even though we live in different locations. And our kids are all great friends, and we take vacations together, and we each share a similar purpose to end the abuses of Scientology and to do what we can to help people get out who need help getting out.
And we're all members, board members of the Aftermath Foundation.
Right. Okay, Calico 26. Why do you think Shelley wasn't sent to the hole, instead is in CST? Because the people that were in the hole, Miscavige's concern and worry about Shelley was that she is someone that the old timers could rally around. And all of those old timers, Mark Yeager, me, Ray Midoff, Norman Starkey, Mark Ingber, all, like the whole slew of them, we're all in the hole. The last place Miscavige wanted to place Shelley to go down there and stir everybody up was in the hole. So she was sent off to CST. Zenobia Boyd. Thank you for all your insightful work, Mike. Can we please have John Atack on soon? CD, listen to your discussion all day long, off to get Bobble R.
Could listen.
Yeah, okay. Yes, when I get my shit together here, I will start doing things like with people like John. I'm actually recording his podcast with him again tomorrow. I do them every month because I thoroughly enjoy our conversations. Johan Amanu. Do you know Marriott Lindstein, most famous Swedish SP, now award-winning author? Was it gold-based? Oh, I know her extremely well.
Yes.
And her husband even better. I adore Marriott, and I'm in touch with her and Dan constantly.
Dan Kuhn edited my book.
I know. I was just going to say, she sends me pre-release copies of her book. I sent her the pre-release copy of my book. Yes, she's wonderful. Both of them are just wonderful.
And her books are loosely based on Scientology. Let's just say they are. There is a alarming parallels between her books and what happened in Scientology.
Right. Okay. Well, we already did that one before. Valerie Bolajak, congratulations on YouTube live launch. Thank you, Valerie. Fiona Stewart, any date for your book on Audible? Oh, it is available on Audible in the UK now, and in Ireland, and in Australia, and in New Zealand.
Yes,
yep, it's out and about and available.
And I know this is Mike's channel, but I did see some comments somewhere about my book not being available in UK. It is prohibitively expensive for me to ship to UK from the States, but it is available on Kindle and anywhere where you can get ebooks in UK. So if you want to get a copy, you can always get it digitally there.
Great. Okay. Marissa, for your good karma jar.
Nice.
That's cute. I like that. Thank you. Richard Farley, with St. Hill being in East Grinstead, I wonder why there wasn't more pressure to expand in the UK. Is there a reason for this? Oh, there's plenty of pressure to expand in the UK. There is pressure to expand everywhere. They just can't do it. They just don't have anything that people want. And as soon as they go to Google, they realize that they really don't want it, so they can't get any new people in.
Yeah, I have a theory that for every new person they get in, 2 people leave. That's how their stats in Scientology work. Every new person they get in, they lose 2 people that were already in. And they just slowly keep shrinking and shrinking and shrinking. Okay,
Captain Zombie 1. Mike Rinder lowering his silver hammer on Scientology. Odd Dog 57. I work across the street from the Plant City org. Apparently they call it a stress test now. Well, that was always just a little adjunct to the Tampa organization. It's not really a Scientology organization. It's just a storefront where they try and get new people interested so that they can send them to the actual organization in Tampa. I didn't even know the Plant City one was still open. I mean, they shut the one down in St. Pete. They also opened one of those centers in St. Pete, and they just closed it down. No business.
They call those test centers, and they have those in Los Angeles, London. They have them in various locations where they have a small facility where they do that stress test, and they try to ferry those people over to the org.
Lithander Grachelinga, the org in Hamburg, Germany, looks like a corpse on life support. Just
nice.
People moving books from one shelf to another. Thought you might like the image. Yes, awesome. I do. That's a wonderful image.
We've got to do a video on Vipka Hansen and that whole thing. There's so much story there in Hamburg and about how they kept winning the birthday game and it was all nonsense. And they had 2 copies of the stats.
Okay, 20 TB. Since you're rushed, I'll save my question for tomorrow night. But big congrats, Mike. Love you too, Mark. Thanks so much, 20.
Nice. Thank you.
Okay. Kathy Ann, do you both have issues getting a full night's sleep now after so many years running on a few hours worth on fumes? Nope.
No, I have less trouble, but when I fall asleep, I'm asleep.
Oh, look at that. I clicked on it again. Marilyn Honig. Oh, Marilyn, the Xenu crochet lady. Mike. I recognize you. You got yours? Oh, my God.
Look at that.
It is so cool.
It's so amazing. He's got a cape. And I have a picture. I know we're short today, but I have a picture. Can I put it up real quick? It's so good. When you see the when you see the one that's on South Park, okay, it's uploading real quick.
I
But
know that.
but when you
Go ahead.
compare them, like, can I?
Oh, you want me to click on that down there?
Yeah, can you see it?
That
Look at
just-
that. That is the
I
South
know.
Park cartoon, and that's what she made. I don't even know how that's possible. Like, is this CGI, or can you do that? I don't know. It's amazing.
I know it is. It is
It's so
absolutely
good.
astonishing.
Even the staff, the galactic staff that
I
he
know.
has. So good. Thank you, Marilyn. It's amazing.
Thank you, Marilyn. It is truly stunning. Stunning work. Love Food Kitchen. No one ever looks more red than AA, so don't worry.
Nice.
Okay, Charlie Ordonez. I was a staff member at Tampa Org while it went, quote, St. Hill size in early 2000s, stat push and all. Left Scientology shortly after. What was COB's internal reason for changing this goal? Mike to Lex podcasts. Okay, the reason for changing the goal of St. Hill size was that no orgs were achieving it. And Miscavige had told the OT8s that OT9 and 10, the fabled non-existent next OT levels, would be made available when all orgs were the size of old St. Hill. But this started rumbling in the OT8 community. Well, we're never going to make it. We'll be dead before we make all orgs the size of old St. Hill, because none of them are actually happening. They declare a few of them as St. Hill size, but then that lasts for a couple of weeks, and then they just retire back to their moribund state. That's part of why the Ideal Org program came along, was as a explanation as to why the orgs are not making St. Hill size, was because they were not ideal orgs. So obviously they couldn't deliver all of the services, and Miscavige had this whole pitch that he gave, that he had done a Hubbard evaluation of why Scientology orgs were not making St. Hill size. It was because their buildings weren't big enough and they couldn't deliver all the services. So now it's become the ideal org thing. And then the beauty of the ideal org thing is that he gets to present to the Scientology world, see, we have ideal orgs. We've got all these buildings. Look at all these new ideal orgs, these new churches. And they're all empty. So
they're emptier than they were before the Ideal Org thing. It went down.
William Tubb, I'm currently 77% through Blown for Good. What an awesome read. It is an awesome read.
Thank
It's
you.
also
Thank you, guys.
much more humorous than my book.
That's just because I don't know how to write, so I got to put jokes in there.
Joshua Cox, Mike, just started reading your book. Your story is fascinating as well as heartbreaking. Thank you for all the work that you are doing. Well, thank you, Joshua. I appreciate that. Fabian Andiel, Mike, do you know how Scientologists are paid in Austria and Germany, where they are not considered a religious org and there are strict minimum wages in place? I don't. I assume that they have circumvented whatever those laws are by saying that they get them to sign a contract as a volunteer, which is what happens in the United States.
Yeah.
M. Nancy C01. Why are they still tax exempt? They are so obviously not a religion. What is taking the IRS so long? Do they have a government in their pocket? Also, congratulations on your new channel. That's a question for the IRS. I keep asking them the same thing. Fabian Andiel. Mike, what happened to my fellow Austrian Kurt Weiland? How was he? Kurt Weiland, the last time I saw him, he was in the hole.
He was losing weight.
He had lost a lot of weight, along with the rest of us. And as far as I know, he is still there. Martha Hornbostel. Mike, early 1980s, Tom Lovely claimed escaped Sea Org and hired to watch his kid. Told never touch / look at huge library with Red Scientology series? Okay, I'm not sure what the question is.
She's just saying a guy that escaped hired her to watch his kid, and she said, "Don't look at those red volumes of Scientology."
Right. Okay. Well, I'm glad you didn't.
Yes, that was a good. That was he was very. Those were very wise words he told you.
Ronnie Lachlan, Mike, can you provide any insight into the last time you communicated with Rathbun, and why do you think he flipped? What could his life possibly be like now as an ex-anti-Scientologist? Okay, the last time I communicated with him, actually, I don't really specifically recall. He sort of fell off the radar, and then he stopped returning calls and just kind of disappeared. And I didn't hear from him at all for a long time. And then he started appearing in those brown jacket Scientology videos, smearing me and Leah and everybody else who was on the aftermath. What could his life possibly be like? I'm not sure how to answer that. I don't know what his life is really like. I honestly hope he's happy somehow. I don't wish ill will on Marty. I think he did an enormous amount to bring the abuses of Scientology to the world. I'm sad that he decided that he needed to dump on people that were formerly his friends and had supported him, but I don't wish him or Mosey or his son any ill will whatsoever.
Yeah, it's likely Scientology put him in an impossible situation, like a Sophie's Choice situation, and he had to make the best decision for himself.
Right. Fabian Andiel, Mike, do you hate LRH? What would you say to him? No, I don't hate him. I think that he is a con man. I think he's a liar. I would say to him that, you've pretended this vast knowledge and how you were trying to help people. In fact, the greatest result that you accomplished was hurting a lot of people. John McAleese, thank you, John. PJ LeBaron, thank you, PJ. Just memes. Hello from Portugal. What do Scientology parents believe is the reason if they have a child with disabilities? Thanks. Wow.
I think you pulled it in. I think that's what the normal thing is.
That's kind of the overarching concept, and not only did the child pull it in, like the Thetan that occupied that newborn body had done some bad things, but maybe also the parents had also, and it's sort of like a group shit show.
Yeah, you get what you get.
Yep. Growing up in Scientology, I'm not red. I'm just big boned. Hey, Ron. Great job on Lex Friedman.
That was amazing. That was good.
Amazing.
I was surprised. Aaron was so articulate with the tech and able to explain it in layman's terms so quickly. The way he did on there, I was like, wow, Aaron, go, Aaron.
I know. He says that, what do I know? I grew up in a cult.
Oh, it was so good. I kind of was like, wow, where's this Aaron been?
Well, that's from growing up in a cult.
Well, yeah. And also he was on technical positions in the church. So He did remember that stuff.
Okay. Julie Diamond, if below OT3 don't know about Xenu and above deny it to all outsiders, is the name Xenu copyrighted?
No, it's not. I own the domain. Xenu is my homeboy.org. I couldn't get .com. There is no .com, but I have the .org.
Okay. Code Monkey, if Shelley never married DM, do you think she would have eventually blown and/or ended up in the hole? Yes.
Yep, for sure. Just like everybody else. You getting the final few here, Mike.
Rebecca, super sticker. Thank you, Rebecca. Yep, down to the last few. Dala Zirolo. May I make a suggestion? It may not be possible, however. I wish that you all ex-Scientologists could space your live chats apart from the other channels so that we as watchers can be able to see all. You know, I was thinking about that this morning, and I was thinking that we should actually organize somewhat of a schedule of the live chats. You know,
Right.
you have Tuesdays. We do the Three Amigos on Mondays. We need to like go, okay, well, Mike will do a live chat on Wednesday and Aaron will do it on Friday or something like that so that we can put a routine.
The problem is Aaron
all
does
the time.
7 every day. So we just have to give him a block out date. Like, you can't do any from 7 p.m. on. That gives a little New York slice for everybody else.
Right. Right. Okay, second last one. Robert Hellquist. Super sticker. Thank you, Robert. And the very last one, look at that. It's 5 till 3.
Yeah.
Fabian Andiel again. Thank you for considering European viewers in your first stream. Let's go, guys.
Nice.
You're very welcome. Honestly, it wasn't really done for that reason. I can't tell a lie. I can't pretend that I was thinking about all my friends in Europe or the UK or wherever. It just happened to be when I and Mark could do this little experiment, and I have other things I have to do later in the day. So this was it. But wow, this exceeded my expectations, way beyond my expectations of what was going to happen. And it seems to have gone relatively smoothly, apart from a few screw ups on my behalf. But hopefully tomorrow it won't be quite as klutzy.
So are we going to do a triple video tomorrow?
Yeah.
We're going to go
Can't
from Aaron's channel to my channel to your channel.
Shouldn't we do that?
If you want, that's awesome.
Yeah, why not?
Oh my goodness. Well, then we're going to have to show you how to redirect. Oh, no, because I'll redirect to you. So yeah, we're good. We're good.
Yeah, I'll
Oh,
we'll
that's
figure
going to
that-
be
we'll figure
so
that out
much
tomorrow.
fun. Let's get Mike in for the ultimate cluster on his second video.
Okay, guys. Well, thank you so much. And thank you, Mark and Claire, for in the background helping to star the comments. I would have been a complete mess if that hadn't happened. I would be like, here, like, what's going on? Anyway, we'll see as many of you as possible again tomorrow. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Bye.